Hello everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Hamilton, Ohio, and I'm here to bring you a trio of cards using the Country Bouquet Stamp Set that is out of our new catalog that starts on Thursday, January 5th. And this is a stamp set that you can use. It's very versatile. You can use it for Valentine's Day. It's a lot of hearts and stuff. Or you can use it for everyday cards. I did some birthday cards and that with it because I think it would work for that. It would also work for like anniversary, maybe wedding cards and different things. So it doesn't have to be strictly Valentine's Day, even though that's what it looks like. There's a suite of products that you can get with paper, stamps, the bundle, of course, which is your stamps and your dies. And then it has DSP paper, it has ribbon, and I think it has an embellishment. But I'm not using that tonight, so I can't remember. And I don't have it on my table tonight. But anyway, I will be using some of the DSP, and I will be using the stamp set. And it doesn't have dies with it, I'm sorry. It has a punch that goes with it, called the Country, let me see what it's called, Country Bouquet Punch, and it's really, really cute. So, and I'm going to show you how an easy way to work with that, because there's actually 4 pieces on the punch, so that you can punch everything out at one time. So I'm going to give you a little hint about that. So, with all that being said, don't forget that Thursday, our new catalog will be coming out, the mini catalog. And if you do not have one, let me know. I'd be happy to send you one, as long as you live in the United States. And but I would send you one along with the celebration catalog, because that goes till February. The catalog goes to May 1st, and or the celebration goes through February. So you have 2 months of stuff you can get free. Has a great joining opportunity that I'll be talking to you about. So if you're thinking about joining Stampin' Up, I'd love to have you on my team. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later this week, because I do want to come on and tell you about some of that stuff. So anyway, with all that being said, I want to go ahead and turn my camera so that we can stamp. I'm going to make 3 cards, 3 different cards, and actually with the way we're cutting the paper, you get 5 cards out of it. So, and it's not a one-sheet wonder thing. It's just the way the paper's cut that makes you get 2 cards. And I'll be showing you all that in just a second. So let me turn the camera around. Close your eyes if you get dizzy, because I want to take you up to my ceiling, which is so much fun, and put you in my camera case and get the cord out of the way. We don't want that in our way. And we want to make sure we get focused good. So let's bring the cards down. I'm making sure that we have that all the way down and stuff, and we do. I am going to actually turn you onto my computer also, so I can be able to make sure that we are in the space we need to be for you to be able to see everything. So I'm going to switch it around here in just a second. Let me pull this up, make sure I have that on silent. And right now we have everything where we need to be, but I don't like my camera where it's, I don't know why that's doing that. Did that on to me earlier today. If I set it too far back, I'm afraid that I'm going to knock it off of the table. That wouldn't be fun. Okay, there we go. That's good. So anyway, these are the cards we're going to make. And let me show you why I said there's going to be 5 cards. This is one. It's like a little fun fold card. I'll be giving you the measurements. I made this into a Valentine's Day card, but this stamp could be used for anything. I will show you how we do this. This is double stamping. So we have that. This card is actually 2 different, I took 2 pieces of paper, the DSP, put them together, die cut it to where I can make 2 cards. So I made one with the punch and stamped some little hearts inside. And then this one I did with some cutout hearts. And this one's done with cutout hearts too, but it's just the different color. It's a sweet sorbet. And I think I already used the other card. That's why it's not here, because I can't find it. So I'm pretty sure that it has gone to someone else already. And then we have this card here, and it is the same thing, where I took 2 pieces, cut the diagonal, and then I used them on the front of the card and just decorated them a little bit different. This one I made into a birthday card. This one I made into a Valentine's Day card. That's the 2 that look alike. The same with this one. I think I got rid of the other card, but I just stamped on an extra piece of paper. I did not decorate the inside of that. Let's see if I think I might have on this one. Yep, I did. I put a heart in there. So I'm going to show you all of this. It's very simple. Now I will tell you, I usually tell you that I have a PDF made that you can get over on my Facebook page, Stamp Crazy VIP, but I did not make a PDF of this yet. I may. I'm hoping to. I just haven't gotten around to it with a lot going on with the holidays and celebrating with family, being with family several different days, and just having a good time. I keep scooting those up, and I need to scoot them down. So I am sorry about that. Let me show you what we're using. We're using the Country Bouquet Stamp Set. We'll be using these 2 stamps, and we'll be using this stamp right here and the leaves, and then some of the hearts. I did use the Happy Valentine's, or I used Happy Valentine's Day, just wanted to say, and then I just wanted to say I love you, I think. Yes, I love you right there. And so I used that. And then I use the Around the Bend dies. Now there's a stamp set that goes with this, but I used the dies. And what I used was this scallop right here. And I actually used these hearts. And that is the hearts that's on these cards right here. There's 5 little hearts. And if you notice, I put 2 on the front and 3 on the inside. So I used those hearts. And that's all I used out of that for this. And then on my go-to greetings is where I used my happy birthday in that's right here. So we are going to be making some cards. So let's not waste some time, and we'll get everything turned around. I will go ahead and get things out of the way, and I'll pull them up as I need them. So I do want to tell you that here is my host code for January. Here's my online store, ritaholmes.stampinup.net. If you would like to place an order with me, I would appreciate using the host code. You can take a screenshot of this or write it down real quick. I will be moving it out of the way because I will probably end up moving it all over the table anyway. So let's get started on our cards. And this one's going to be the first one that we do. So let's move this. I'll move it right here for right now. Doesn't mean it's going to stay there, because I get all involved in my card making and things just kind of go everywhere. So I'm going to tell you the sizes of this. I don't know if some of you go over and have joined that group and snagged the PDFs, which is fine with me, but there's not a PDF for this one, so I'm going to let you know the measurements. So what I did here, this is a 5.5 by 5.5 piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock, and I'm just going to fold, and it's scored at 4 1/4 this way, scored at 4 1/4, so it leaves a 1 1/4 inch edge here. That's what we have, and I am going to go ahead and take I use a Pampered Chef pot scrubber. If you haven't come, I love these. I do have bone folders, but this is just something that's thin, it's lightweight. I like the way I can hold on to it and just do my paper. So we're doing that, and then I forgot to leave this paper over here. Let me get it real quick. This is our Country Gingham paper, which is this right here. This piece comes out of the Country Gingham, and it is great paper. It's in the new catalog that starts on Thursday. It has ginghams, some plaids, different kinds of ginghams. I mean, I love all of it. I think it's just so neat. You get 48 sheets. And you get like 2, 4, 6, 8 of each sheet and 6 different designs. Will be 12 because you get 6 on one side, 6 on the other. So this paper is right here, and then this paper and the other papers that I'm using is coming out of the I can't remember what it's called, Country Floral Lane, and it's the papers that's to go with this suite right here. So let me kind of show you that. I love it. Here's the hearts that we're using, and then the back side is blue. There's stripes, and this coordinates with the punch. You can just punch that whole thing out and use it. And there's some more blue with the hearts, and then there's some that's petal pink, sweet sorbet, and mint macaron are the colors used for that. Same colors are used in here. That's a stripe. That's the one I used on this card right here. I just used both sides of the paper. And then we have this that has, and the hearts are in there and stuff, but it's got your greens. It's got the mossy meadow, the mint macaron, the petal pink. It's really pretty. And I think that's all the different ones. Yes, it is. And I think I showed you this one, unless that's my last piece, I don't know. But it's got little hearts on the back, and that's the one that I used for these cards right here. That's the front and back of that paper. Put something on that card. There we go. Okay, that's our papers. I almost forgot to show them to you, and I wanted to make sure that I did. So there you go. You got to see that. Now back to this. We got 5.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, which leaves us 1 1/4 by 5.5. So I cut a piece of DSP 1 inch by 5 1/4. I am going to use my glue. I used it this morning. It's already gunky. I'm going to use my glue, and I'm just going to add that to the front of this. And you know, I always get a little bit of glue that runs out, so I have to use a glue eraser. I swear by this little thing. And I tell everybody this every week, or every how often I get on here. I am not consistent, which I'm sorry. So there we have that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, and I've already forgotten what I cut this, and of course I don't have the, oh, I have them written right here. That's good. This is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. This is 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. And this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. They're just 1/8 inch apart, each one of them. And I don't think I got this one cut right because it looks a little longer. So we're going to have to measure it. That's why it's nice to have paper trimmers close by. Three 1/4. I hope that's right. We're doing it that way. We're going to see if it's right. But it didn't look right because I just cut that down an awful lot. I probably cut all my papers wrong. So let's do this again. 3 5/8. By 3 5/8. That one was cut right. Oh, I know what I was supposed to do. It's supposed to be 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. Oh, silly me. Let's get one out and cut it again. Silly, silly me. So here we go. We want it to be 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. So let's just put this in our paper trimmer. I got a new paper trimmer for Christmas, one of the big ones. I use a guillotine trimmer when I'm cutting a lot of paper. And so I got a new one for Christmas. That's what I wanted. It's not a huge one, but it's a lot sharper than the one I had for years, and it was finally getting dull on me. Now let's see if I got that right. Yes, I did. Okay, let's set this down here just in case we need it again. Don't want to jinx ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these three together. So let's remember, this one's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and the white one is 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. Let me see what this one measures. It's probably one. Yep, that one's a little bit shorter. That's for my other thing I'm doing. So just want to make sure I had the right piece. I know you guys don't want to sit and watch me cut paper all night long. That kind of defeats the purpose. But you know, I'm just as human as anybody else. The reason why I'm going to use this is the paper trimmer. If your paper trimmer leaves an edge on one side where you've trimmed it, and you need to smooth it out, use your bone folder or whatever and just smooth that out. Now I'm going to take my heart paper and I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Because we don't really need all of this laying on the table in the way. Whoa. Did you see that? That's why I use liquid glue. Okay, now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and I'm going to put a little bit, make sure I got my hearts right side up. I'm just going to glue this onto my card. Kind of centering it and hoping that, yep, got the glue covered. Of course, I knew that was going to turn when I did that. And I'm going to take, I got a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of white that's just going to go in here. And that's for us to write on and stamp on. So people know who our card is from, right? Okay, I'm going to turn all of this over and get my little tool out. I call this my Joni tool. Because Joan is my friend that gave it to me. Her husband makes these, and I love it. It's actually for my Stamparatus, but I use it to make sure I get everything down nice and neat. So there's our card. We're going to put that back there. We are going to bring this in to stamp our hearts. And we are going to stamp the bigger part first, which is what I like to stamp first. So I'm going to put that on my stamp. I'm going to bring in my Sweet Sorbet ink. And this I'm going to lay right up here because that's where it's going to go eventually. And I'm going to ink this up. And I want to ink it good. And I'm going to cut this out, so I'm going to stamp it in the middle. And I think I actually put my layering circles away. Forgot I was using them for this. Because in all honesty, this should have been last week's video, and I didn't do one last week, and I had it all ready. But I didn't do it because I just ran out of time, to be perfectly honest. The holidays and everything just really put me behind. And it's not that I did a whole lot, I do have to say that, but it's just that's the way it went. Put that on the wrong way. There we go. Okay, let's close this. We're going to get the Mossy Meadow out. It's one of my favorite greens. So let's ink it up. Just remember not to press your stamp really hard in there so you don't make a mess. And you can actually, when you lift it up, you can see if it's all green or not. And then what I'm going to do, there's some holes. Let me get a pointer tool. There's some holes right here and right here and here on the stamp that fit over this and right in here. So that's how I lined this up. As I go over those flowers, make sure it looks really good. Stamp down and just press really hard with that. I want to get a good ink coverage. And there we go. Gives you the perfect heart. I'll hold it up so you can see it a little better. Can you see that? It's really easy to line up and stamp. I really like that one for that. Sometimes these are really hard when you have this two-step process going on. But I thought this one was pretty easy to line up. So why I wanted to show it, because sometimes, you know, you get those and it's just not what you thought it would be. And I'm getting my layering circles. And that way, by you seeing it, you know exactly what you're getting. So, I used the largest scallop circle on this, and I used the largest circle to fit right there. It just fits. We are going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because we're going to use it a couple times. So I'm bringing in my big one because the next thing I do with it, I need the bigger one. I'll bring in my messy plates. Look at these plates, ladies. They are a hot mess. But you know what? They still work. So I'm all for using them. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Lay that down. I always put my thumb on it, try to get it to start rolling. Roll it through. Gives a little bit of a shake, I'm sorry. Just the way it goes in the stamping world. Let's put my die back up. I love using magnetic sheets because when I put them on there, then they stay. I don't have to worry about where they are. And there's my piece. Let's move this out of the way for a second. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take and put it right here on my circle, my scallop circle. And it barely will have an edge around it. and that's okay. I can't remember if I popped that or not. Let's look and see. Yes, I did. So we're going to take and we're going to, I just had those out. Let's take them. We're going to take some scissors and I'm just going to cut some of this extra off of the edge. And put on here. And then we will add that to the front of the card. And we'll just put that on. And then what I'm going to take is this little piece of paper right here. And in my stamp set, there's a little saying, it says "For You." And it is right here. We're going to take that and I'm going to stamp it on this little scrap piece of paper. It's a 1/2 inch by probably an inch, inch and a quarter, something like that is what you need. But this is a scrap that I had and I'm just using it. I'm going to take my memento. And I'm just going to stamp an edge. There we have our "For You." Let me clean that stamp real quick. It's nighttime. My nose is wanting to run. Don't you hate when things start working crazy at nighttime? Okay, let's put that out of my way. Then I'm just going to take and I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of that. And that's going to say "For You." And in here I put "Happy Valentine's Day." And I think I might do the same thing on this one. Not that I know if I'm going to send out Valentine's Day cards, because I usually do not. But, you know, I might turn over a new leaf this year and do it. You never know. Because it's been a holiday that we have never celebrated, my husband and I. We've never made a big deal out of it. We've never made a big deal out of it with our kids. We've always called it a Hallmark holiday. So I'm just going to stamp my "Happy Valentine's Day" in there. But I might send them out. I have a sister in a nursing home and stuff like that, so I might send some few Valentine's Day cards. That would be a nice thing to do, if I can remember. Okay, so there's our card. That's the 2 cards. Very easy. So we're going to put these away. Let's see what's next on my pile. I got my pile over here of cardstock to use. I'm making a mess with paper. How fun is that? Turning everything over. Jeez. Okay, here's our next one. Let's move some stuff out of our way. Our next one is going to be these cards right here. And I just dropped a piece of paper because I had my arm on it. Okay, we have our card base, which is Sahara Sand. And I am going to fold that. It's 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4, like our regular card. I'm going to head and fold them, both of them. We might get them both made. These are Sahara Sand, cut 5 1/4 by 4. And then here is our DSP that we're using. So what I'm going to do with this, and I take it is in the sewing technique, if y'all took, I'm going to call it home economics because I'm old. That's what we did. I'm going to put my right sides together. So it's going to be like this. Put the two matching sides together. And I am going to take my paper trimmer. And I don't measure anything on this, but I'm going to cut a diagonal. So I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm going to cut a diagonal like so. And I notice that the back piece is just a hair bigger than the front piece. So I am going to trim that off. Stick it back just a little bit further. There we go. Straighten that up a little bit. Got it. So then what we have is and the reason why we take and put them right sides together is because this cut off of here and this cut off of here. So if I turned the one over that we cut like that, we wouldn't have, it wouldn't fit, see? So we bring this one over here and it matches up, and then we take this one over here and match it up. And then that way we have our matching pieces, like a little puzzle. So let's go ahead and glue them down. So you're just going to glue this flush with this Sahara sandpaper. And the reason why I'm putting it on there is because of the holding the two pieces and making sure we get them together good instead of putting them on the card base itself. You could just put them on the card base if you really wanted to, but I just anchor them onto a piece of matching cardstock for my card. Oh, you know what I did? I did that wrong. Look at that. So, that's not going to be able to go on there. So we're gonna. I'm rubbing that glue off. And in a minute, I'm going to try to get it off with my glue eraser. You're going to see if that thing really works. So, but while I'm letting that dry for a second, I am going to, now I gotta get it off my fingers. I'm gonna pay more attention to what I'm doing. Now you're gonna say, this is why I can't do that card, because that would happen to me. And it very well might. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this piece on, lining up my edges. And then I'm going to glue on this side, because I'm going to turn it over and stick it where it needs to go. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to trim my edge up a little bit. Because I don't always get that straight. That's why I do that. So it just takes a sliver off, but that sliver bothers me. So we've got that. Okay, while that's sitting there drying for a second, let's see what we can do with this. I don't know if it's dry enough yet. Oh, it might be. I've done this with a big piece of paper before. And I just want to show you it's doable. And that's what glue looks like when you're taking an eraser to it, when you're getting it off. You see all that nasty stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all that off. So you know what I might do? Let's just see something here. La-di-da. Let's just see. Got a scrap piece of paper here. So I need it to be, okay, here's what I can do. Watch, we're going to see if this is going to work. I'm going to use this as a tool. And I'm going to take a pencil. And I'm going to try to cut this out. You guys are seeing how you can clear up a mistake, I hope. So I can take that and put that right in my cutter. And cut that off. And then put this at an angle. See if I drew that right. If we can get it to match some, we're doing good. So here's my piece I want to use. Don't you love real time? And actually, this is a video I'm going to put on. I could redo it all, but you know what? Everybody needs to see mistakes being made because it happens all the time. Making sure I get my pencil lines off that were on there. Now let's see how this is going to line up. And we may have to trim it. But you know what? That's okay. I'm actually going to put my glue right here on my piece of cardstock it's going to go on. Almost did it wrong again. Maybe this card doesn't want to be made. Okay, and I just got to trim off that little bit right there. I'm going to put it on the paper trimmer and make sure it's getting straight. Just take off that sliver of an edge again. And there we go. We have our little bit of card. So there we go. The one piece we didn't have to use. I'm not going to go through all of that. We just did it like that. Sorry that you had to wait for me to do that, but I kind of wanted to show you. You can straighten all that up. It's not undoable. It's doable. So now we have these for our two cards. Then what I did is I took some Sahara sand ribbon that I had. And I'm going to put a line of glue, just a small bead of glue, right at where those two are glued together. I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on both of them. It's not going to hurt. Make sure I get all the way to the edge on both of them, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm just going to cut that ribbon. I'm going to do the same on this side. And I'll just cut that again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make 2 bows real quick. And it's just like tying your shoe. Some people make bunny ears and go down and make a bow. I have always found this is my easy way of doing it. There's one, and we'll make another. And you just work your bow down to where they measure about the same on each end. Wow. So there's my 2 bows. And we'll put those on in just a minute. I'm going to take the stamp. Just wanted to say I love you. So I'm going to do the just wanted to say first. And that's going to be with the black. And that says, just wanted to say. And then we're going to do the I love you, which is right here. And we're going to do the I love you in Sweet Sorbet. Let me close these ink pads up before we drop everything in them, and then we'll be mad all over again. Or I will be, you won't. So I'm just going to do what I did before. I'm just going to cut these at an angle. Turn that over, and I think I'm just going to cut a piece of this and just put right there. And what I'm going to do with this, because I'm going to put a bow on here, is I'm going to put that up just a little bit higher so it won't be in the way of the bow. I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to use glue dots. And I always use 2. 1 to each side of the back there where the bow is, the knot is made. And I'm going to just stick that on there. We're going to put it on our card. And if I hadn't messed up, we would have been done a lot sooner and it all would have been fine. But I had to show you my mistake, right? And I'm going to take and put a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 white. I like to put white inside my cards. I used to not do that till a couple years ago, and I started doing it, and now I don't like it if I don't do it. So habits are easy to get into, and then you don't want to go back to the old way. So there we go. So there's that one, which is like our first one we did. Now we're going to finish the one that goes like that. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card base, because I'm not going to be doing anything else to it. So let's go ahead and add that to the card base. We can go ahead and add our ribbon. Better not take the ribbon off of the other one. That wouldn't be smart. So let's just do this and add our ribbon right here. Just make sure you push it down really good so that it'll stay. And then what I'm going to do, I set all my paper on top of that, is, right here it is. I am going to take this piece of scrap that I had from where I cut my mats, and I'm just going to go around this heart. And remember, you don't want to turn your scissors as much as you want to turn your paper. Leave your scissors still till you get on the straight edge. Turn it. I'm just going to add a little glue to the back of it. Nothing fancy. Add it to this little circle that from the layering circles. And then I'm going to add it to the scallop circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my dots. I'm going to add 2 dots. Put it on my card. So let's just add that to the card. And I'm going to do that as a happy birthday card. Because who can't use happy birthday cards, right? We all need them if we send out cards. So I'm going to use this with the black. And do happy birthday and under that. Okay, and then I'm going to put a piece of white inside of it. And put that right inside. I did not decorate the inside of these. Maybe this one I did, or this one that I had made already. And I put one of the little hearts in there, and you could take and cut out another heart and put in there. I'm not going to do that right now. So I've got that made. So these are made, and we got our last one to do. And that is this right here. And it's super, super simple. So let me show you how I did that. Maybe. Here we go. I used the petal pink as my background. And it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, our regular card. So let's fold them over. Okay, then what I did was I took 2 pieces of this, and I did like I did the other cards. I put them together like so. Yeah, my eye itches. Just 1 second. Oh, goodness. That's not good. Okay, so I put the 2 together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the around the bend dies, and I'm going to use this scallop. Now here again, I didn't measure anything. I just got my big, oh, my big shot, I started to say, my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine out with my plates. I'm going to stand up for this one so I can see good. So I got my right sides together. That's what I call it, the top one. And I'm just going to lay this down. And I'm not really worried about where it's at. I know that the other 2 are going to match it. I'm going to angle that a little bit more though. But I'm not measuring anything. And I'm just going to run this through. Let's take that down. Let's move these. And there's our pieces. Now this works the same way as, whoops, as the other. We're going to take, one's going to be like that, one's going to be like that. Then we'll turn this one over. It will fit, this one will fit into here. So you just line them back up. And that's all we have to do. Now these I did not put on anything to the back. I just went ahead and put them on my card base, because I wasn't putting that piece of ribbon and stuff on them. So what I'm going to do is go ahead I'm going to add this here. I love the little bicycles. I think that's really cute. So there's that. I'm going to add to the back of this one. And then I'm just going to take it over here and I'm going to start lining that up in the little grooves so that they match. And put that down. And we have that put back together. So let's do this one. The blue will be at the top this time. And you could use all kinds of papers and stuff for this. I want to make sure I got my card right. There we go. But you could make a masculine card out of these, doing it this way. You could just do so much. So now we're going to turn that over. We're going to add the glue. Then I'm going to show you how to use that punch. And it's a great informative way to use it if you were thinking about maybe getting something like that that's got the 4 pieces. So let me show that to you. There we go. We got those pieces done. So here's our punch. And if you see that it's got all 4 pieces on it. So what I did was I took a piece of cardstock and put in there, because that's how it's going to go when I've got it stamped. So I want it this way, and I'm going to lay it down for a minute because I just want to show you that fits. So I'm going to take a piece of white, and on this piece of white I'm going to bring this over here. Okay, so we got this over here. I'm going to take a piece of washi tape. Let's see if we can find the edge. That's like a guessing game with me. Especially this one right here. I never can find it. And it's like a goal, you know. Here it is. So I'm going to take a piece of washi tape. And this is just some old washi tape I have that's retired. I'm going to put that down because I want to hold it down. Now I'm going to bring in the stamp set. So the stamp has the 2 hearts, which will go like this to stamp, okay? So let's get that on there. And I'm going to take Petal Pink ink. Petal Pink ink. I'm going to ink up my stamp really, really good. Okay. And then I'm just going to line that up inside where that punched area is. And I'm going to stamp, okay? And I'm going to press really hard. I want that to... Okay, there's the hearts stamped. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the leaves. The leaves are made the same way. So let's put the leaves on our... And I'm going to use the mint macaron for my leaves. So let's ink the leaves up. Then I'm going to bring them over and I'm going to line them up. My head's in the way, I'm sorry. This is easier to do standing up, but I'm going to try to make leaves not standing. Okay, so we have that ready to punch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this off. And see how I have my stamped areas? Whoops. So we're going to bring the punch back in. I'm going to set the punch in here, line that up. And then I have another template if I need it. Now, here's what I'm going to say about this. I got this leaf a little crooked. Too much white on my leaves. If I would have stood up, I would have probably got them better. But I was trying to show you how to. So what I'm doing is just trimming off some of that white, so it doesn't look so white. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And you don't always have to do this. This is just because I wasn't looking in the right spot to do that. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be done on the blue card. So I'm going to take and put a couple of I think I've used all the little round dots, so now I'll add a piece right here. So I'm going to put dimensionals on my heart. Take and stick my heart on my card. Then I'm going to take my 2 leaves, and I'm just going to add glue down at the bottom. And I'm going to stick that in behind my heart. I'm going to do the same with the next leaf. And then I'm going to put a little piece of dimensional on the back of this heart. I think I cut that a little bit too big. So let's just cut it down just a hair. There we go. And I'm going to just add that to the side right there. Okay. Then I'm going to take and put this saying, "I love that we are friends." And I'm going to use the black. It's going to say, "I love that we are friends." I'm just going to stamp it at the top on the blue because it'll be seen a lot better. And then on the inside, I put "Happy Birthday." So let's get a piece of white. Make sure that that's the right size. And I'm going to put the "Happy Birthday." Let me put the leaves up out of the way. That way I can use the stamp pad. We'll put "Happy Birthday" on this. So we're just going to put "Happy Birthday." Never can have too many birthday cards. Never. And then we're going to bring in the little heart. And I'm going to take the saying off. Put the little heart here. And I'm going to get the petal pink. And I'm just going to do some little hearts. And this little heart did not get all the way done. There we go. So there's the hearts for that card. So let's open it up. And we're going to glue this down. And that card is made. This is probably the longest video I've ever made. I usually don't do long videos. So I hope when you guys watch this, you watch to the end and have stuck with me. So there's that one. And then we have this one to do. And I did this saying, just wanted to say, let's put this up, we don't need it. And I did just wanted to say down here, and actually I think I'm going to put it at an angle. just wanted to say, and I love this paper. I think this makes a great birthday card. And I'm going to take another piece of white. I have an extra one here too. And I'm going to put happy birthday on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little hearts instead of cutting out the hearts because I don't have them done and since it's taken so long. And I'm going to take the Sweet Sorbet stamp pad. And I'm going to stamp some Sweet Sorbet hearts on this one. I got some ink over here, so I'm going to do some over here too. I'll put some right here, make it all look like it's supposed to be there. And then I'm going to take the Sweet Sorbet, and I don't want all that ink that I just got on there. Ooh, that was messy. Don't do that. And I'm just going to add them right there. And nope, I think I'm just going to put them right there. And then we're going to take this and we are going to glue it inside. So there's what I mean. These do not have to be Valentine's Day cards. The paper, even though it has hearts and that on it, does not have to be Valentine's Day. Used for Valentine's Day. You can use it for birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, all that kind of stuff. So there we go. We have those two cards made. So we have lots of cards. We made 5. I hope you stayed with me, and if you did, thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and I'm sorry, I wanted to work through that mistake I made just to show you, don't give up. You can always figure out something that'll work for you. So, until my next video, I hope you all have a good evening, a good morning, whatever time it is that you're watching this. And I'll be back soon. Bye.